A woman drove her 2015 ES350 into my shop last month with the check engine light on and rough idle. She'd been to 2 dealerships already. Both quoted her between $3,500 and $4,200 for repairs. They said my engine has internal damage, she told me, voice shaking. They want to replace the cylinder head. I popped the hood, checked one thing, and knew immediately what was actually wrong. 20 minutes later, I handed her a bill for $42. Parts and labor. Her engine ran perfectly. Smooth as silk. Check engine light off. The problem? A $17 part that every mechanic knows about, but almost no owner ever checks until it's too late. This tiny component fails on virtually every Lexus between 80,000 and 150,000 miles. When it fails, it creates symptoms that look like catastrophic engine damage, rough idle, oil consumption, check engine lights, loss of power. Dealerships see these symptoms and immediately start talking about valve jobs, cylinder head replacement, or even complete engine rebuilds. But 90% of the time, it's just this one cheap part. I've been working on Lexus engines for 25 years, and I've seen this exact scenario play out hundreds of times. Owners getting quoted thousands for repairs they don't need because nobody checked the obvious culprit first. Today, I'm exposing exactly what this part is, how to check if yours is failing, and how to replace it yourself for under $20. Keep watching because this 10-minute video could save you $4,000. Let's protect your engine. The $17 part, your PCV valve. The part destroying Lexus engines is the PCV valve. PCV stands for positive crankcase ventilation. This valve regulates pressure inside your engine and prevents harmful gases from building up in the crankcase. It costs between $15 and $25 depending on your model, takes 10 minutes to replace, requires no special tools. Yet when it fails, it creates a cascade of problems that can genuinely destroy your engine if ignored long enough. Here's what the PCV valve actually does. As your engine runs, combustion gases blow past the piston rings into the crankcase. This is normal and happens in every engine. The PCV valve routes these gases back into the intake manifold where they're burned in the combustion chamber instead of building pressure inside the engine. When the valve works properly, crankcase pressure stays normal and your engine runs cleanly. When the valve fails, everything goes wrong fast. What happens when the PCV valve fails? A failed PCV valve creates a domino effect of problems throughout your engine. First, crankcase pressure builds up because gases can't escape properly. This excessive pressure finds the weakest points in your engine and forces oil out through seals and gaskets. Suddenly you're seeing oil leaks at the valve covers, timing cover, oil pan gasket, and rear main seal. Multiple leaks appearing simultaneously is a classic PCV valve failure symptom. Second, the stuck valve disrupts the air-fuel mixture entering your engine. Your mass airflow sensor readings become inaccurate. The engine runs rough, misfires, and triggers check engine lights with codes for lean or rich conditions. Third, oil gets sucked into the intake manifold and combustion chambers. This causes carbon buildup on intake valves, fouled spark plugs, and visible blue smoke from the exhaust. Fourth, oil consumption skyrockets. You're adding a quart every 1,000 miles or less. The oil isn't leaking out anymore. It's being burned in the combustion chamber. Now here's where it gets expensive. Most mechanics see these symptoms and diagnose valve stem seal problems, piston ring wear, or cylinder head issues. They quote you $2,500 for valve stem seal replacement, or $4,000 for cylinder head work, or $6,000 plus for complete engine rebuilds. But in most cases, especially on engines under 150,000 miles, the real problem is the $17 PCV valve. How to check your PCV valve right now. You can check your PCV valve in under 5 minutes with no tools. First, locate the valve. On most Lexus 5.6 engines, it's on the passenger side valve cover connected to a hose that runs to the intake manifold. On 4-cylinder engines, it's usually on top of the valve cover. If you can't find it, check your owner's manual or search online for your specific model and year. Once you've located it, pull it out. Most PCV valves just pull straight out of their grommet. Some have a small hose clamp you'll need to loosen first. Now shake the valve next to your ear like a maraca. You should hear a distinct rattle. That's the internal valve mechanism moving freely. If it rattles clearly, the valve is probably working. If you hear nothing, the valve is stuck closed and has failed. Here's the second test. While the valve is out, look inside it with a flashlight. You should be able to see through it clearly. If you see heavy oil residue, sludge, or if the passages are blocked, the valve has failed even if it still rattles. Third test. Blow through the valve from the engine side. You should feel slight resistance, but air should pass through. If it's completely blocked or offers no resistance at all, it's failed. If your valve fails any of these tests, replacement is urgent. Every day you delay allows more engine damage. The symptoms you're already experiencing. If your PCV valve has failed, you're probably experiencing several of these symptoms right now. Rough idle that gets worse when stopped at traffic lights. The engine shakes more than it used to and might even stall occasionally. Check engine light with codes for running lean, running rich, random misfires, or MAF sensor problems. These codes appear because the failed PCV valve disrupts air-fuel mixture, oil consumption that increased suddenly. You went from never adding oil between changes to needing a quart every month or two. Oil leaks appearing in multiple locations simultaneously. Your valve covers are seeping. Your timing cover is wet. Your oil pan gasket is leaking, all at once. Blue smoke from the exhaust on startup or during acceleration. This is oil being burned in the combustion chamber. Reduced power and poor fuel economy. The engine feels sluggish and MPG drops by 2 to 3 or more. Hissing sounds from the engine bay. Excessive crankcase pressure escaping through gaskets and seals. If you have 3 or more of these symptoms, your PCV valve has almost certainly failed. How to replace the PCV valve yourself. Replacement is ridiculously simple on most Lexus models. First, buy the correct PCV valve. Go to a Lexus dealer parts department or order genuine Toyota or Lexus parts online. Don't cheap out with generic auto parts store valves, they fail prematurely. Expect to pay $15 to $30 for the genuine part depending on your model. You might also need a new grommet if yours is cracked or deteriorated. These cost $3 to $5. The replacement process takes 10 minutes. Locate the old PCV valve on your valve cover. It's usually connected to a hose leading to the intake manifold. If there's a hose clamp, loosen it and slide it down the hose. Pull the PCV valve straight out of the rubber grommet in the valve cover. Disconnect the hose from the PCV valve. Some push on, others have a clip you squeeze to release. Inspect the rubber grommet in the valve cover. If it's cracked, brittle, or torn, replace it. Just pull the old one out and push the new one in. Push the new PCV valve firmly into the grommet until it seats completely. Reconnect the hose. If there was a clamp, slide it back up and tighten it. That's it. You're done. Total time, 10 minutes. Total cost, under $35 including the grommet. Start your engine and let it idle for 5 minutes. The rough idle should smooth out almost immediately. Check engine lights might take a few drive cycles to clear. What if replacement doesn't fix everything? Here's the honest truth. If you've been driving with a failed PCV valve for months or years, you might have caused additional damage. The oil consumption might not completely stop immediately. It takes time for carbon deposits to burn off and for oil to stop seeping through contaminated gaskets. Some oil leaks might persist because gaskets have been permanently damaged by excessive pressure. These might need replacement. Check engine lights might return if the MAF sensor got contaminated with oil. You might need to clean the MAF sensor or replace it. But replacing the PCV valve stops the root cause. It prevents further damage and gives your engine a chance to stabilize. In most cases, especially if you catch it within a few months of failure, engine performance returns to normal within a few hundred miles. The oil leaks slow down and often stop completely as gaskets reseal. Oil consumption drops significantly or stops entirely. Check engine lights stay off after the system relearns. If problems persist after 1,000 miles with a new PCV valve, then you might have legitimate engine wear that needs addressing. But at least you ruled out the cheap fix first. Why dealerships don't check this first? Here's the uncomfortable truth about why dealerships and shops don't immediately check the PCV valve when you come in with these symptoms. There's no money in it. A PCV valve replacement generates maybe $100 to $150 in revenue, including markup and labor. That's barely worth writing up a repair order. But diagnosing engine internal damage and recommending cylinder head work, that's $3,000 to $5,000 in revenue. Much more profitable. I'm not saying all mechanics are dishonest. Many genuinely don't think to check the PCV valve because it's so cheap and simple they assume it can't be causing major symptoms. But the result is the same. Owners get quoted thousands for repairs they don't need. The dealerships that quoted that woman $3,500 to $4,200 weren't lying about her symptoms. Her engine did have rough idle, misfires, and oil consumption. But they jumped straight to expensive solutions without checking the obvious cheap one first. That's why I always check PCV valves first when I see these symptoms. It saves my customers thousands and builds trust that brings them back for legitimate repairs later. The prevention strategy. Once you replace your PCV valve, don't forget about it forever. PCV valves should be checked every 50,000 miles and replaced every 100,000 miles as preventive maintenance. Most Lexus owners never think about the PCV valve until it fails and causes problems. Be smarter than that. At every other oil change, pop out the PCV valve, shake it, and make sure it still rattles freely. Takes 30 seconds and prevents future problems. If you notice it's getting sluggish or showing oil buildup, replace it proactively before it fails completely. Also, always use quality engine oil and change it on schedule. Dirty oil accelerates PCV valve failure by creating sludge that clogs the valve. Keep your PCV valve healthy, and you prevent the entire cascade of problems that come with failure. The real cost comparison. Let's talk real numbers. A PCV valve costs $17 to $25. Add $10 for a new grommet if needed. Total parts cost under $35. If you do it yourself, that's your total cost. $35 and 10 minutes of your time. If you have a shop do it, expect to pay $100 to $150 including parts, labor, and markup. Still incredibly cheap for a repair. Now compare that to what you'll pay if you ignore it. Valve stem seal replacement, $2,000 to $2,500. Cylinder head reconditioning, $3,000 to $4,000. Complete engine rebuild, $6,000 to $8,000. Engine replacement, $8,000 to $12,000, all for a problem that started with a $17 part. I've personally seen 6 Lexus engines that needed complete rebuilds because failed PCV valves went unchecked for years. Every single owner wished they'd known to check this simple part earlier. Don't be that person. Don't let a $17 part destroy your $40,000 vehicle. What you need to do today. Stop reading and go check your PCV valve right now. Find it on your valve cover. Pull it out. Shake it. Does it rattle? Look inside. Is it clean? Blow through it. Does air pass through? If it fails any of these tests, order a new valve today. Don't wait until next week. Don't wait for your next oil change. Don't wait until the symptoms get worse. Every day with a failed PCV valve allows more pressure buildup, more oil leaks, more carbon deposits, and more engine damage. Replace it now while it's a $35 fix. Wait, and you're gambling with your engine's life. If your valve passes all the tests, great, but put a reminder in your phone to check it again in 50,000 miles. And if you're experiencing the symptoms I described, Rough idle, oil consumption, multiple leaks. Replace the PCV valve first before authorizing expensive engine work. Give the cheap fix a chance before spending thousands on repairs you might not need. Your Lexus engine is sophisticated and durable, but it's not immune to damage from failed maintenance items. A $17 part can absolutely destroy an engine if neglected long enough. Don't let that happen to yours. If you found these tips helpful, be sure to watch this next video as we're sharing insider tips to help you cut repair costs and keep your car running like new.